welcome to the very first episode of Behind the Screen, where we meet people who love Star Wars and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. A few hours ago, I managed to catch up with your friend and my friend Urzatron. Check out the video. I hope you enjoy it. Please hit the subscribe button. If we get to 500 subscriptions, my Rose Tico in my account will go to Gear 13, so it's worth the watch. Get into it, enjoy it. We have heaps more content coming your way. I hope you enjoy. And we're here. Welcome to Behind the Screen. I'm here with the person I've been looking forward to chatting with for some time now. Basically, we all know him as the heartthrob of the Outer Rim. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome Urzatron to our little session today. Urzatron, please welcome my friend. It is wonderful to speak to you.
Heinzie, how are you, brother? It is so good to be here. I owe you guys down under a favor. You guys did me a solid. One of your guild friends hooked me up with his account for GAC, J-Lox Jedi. Big shout out to him. So
yeah, no, J-Lox. He's one of our patron states. He's a Patreon, actually, of this particular channel. So we love J-Lox down here. He's been looking after you with your Relic 7 Tuscans. We have no doubt at all that you could not wait to touch those. As soon as you mentioned it, that was certainly on the cards. So
he goes, I got R7 Tuscans. I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, bro, we're doing this. We are Tuscan law together, my friend. We ride single file, me and J-Lox. So happy to help you boys out and glad to be here.
No, thanks very much for dropping in, man. So look, obviously, the whole idea of Behind the Screen is that we want to just delve into what makes a lot of the community tick as far as the people involved and what it's all about. Obviously, I find that the community is probably as much, if not more, important to the game than the game itself in a lot of cases. So I just wanted to have a chat with you today and just get down to who is behind the man that is Urzatron, if we can. So I basically just want to start with a simple question. Star Wars itself, what was your first experience with Star Wars when you got into it at all?
So a long time ago, first experience with Star Wars was going to Return of the Jedi in 1983 at, I believe, was the Cooper 5. That's an old movie theater that's long gone in Colorado. And I just remember being about 5 years old and walking out of the theater just totally changed. Return of the Jedi was my first Star Wars movie in a movie theater, and still, I would say it's Empire 1 and Star Wars Return of the Jedi 1A in terms of my favorite stuff. So that was my first Star Wars experience. And then obviously, you know, all the neighborhood kids, my brother, my older brother, just all through our childhood, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, James Bond, the whole 9 yards. But Star Wars was always number one. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. Long story behind mine is, or short story behind mine, I spent a lot of time, obviously, on a lot of school holidays with my grandparents. And the deal was that, obviously, when we were staying with them, we would go out to the movies and things like that and have movie days and actually would get a handful of coins and take it to the local arcade machine as well and played games like Sega Afterburner and Outrun. Games like that were just blowing us away at the time. So we would have basically a massive day out. Well, one of those occasions, of course, was Return of the Jedi. And again, walked out of that mind blown. Sat there, I reckon, for the rest of my, childhood life, watching all of the movies right through when they were around. The trilogy. I'm a big original trilogy man myself.
Me too.
So, that was certainly something that dawned on me, and obviously it set us up for what we love the most now, still to this day, which is incredible. It's great.
100%, man.
I love it.
I'm so glad we're getting all this new content for 2019. It's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, I like the trailer. Obviously, that was something else I was going to mention to you. I know that I know you're over the space horses now with the new trailer. Of course, that took a little while.
It took me a little bit, but I've accepted it. I had I saw that it was the one thing I was kind of like, I don't know. And then, I'm fine with it now. It took a day.
Took me a while to think, not sure about that. But we'll see how it all plays out. Let's hope there's a good reason for it, certainly. So,
last time we got space horses, it didn't end too well. So.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Another question, obviously, Galaxy of Heroes. That's why we're here. That's why we're talking today. We love this game. You have an incredible passion for it. Quick shout out, of course, the work you're doing there with GAC. It is off the charts. I love it. I can't get enough of it. We all watch it. We all turn up. And thank you for doing that. And please keep doing that awesome work because we just love what you're doing there, my friend. But Galaxy of Heroes, how did you pick this game up? That's something that I want to know. Where did it all start for you? Is it something that you're just scrolling through one day, or did someone say, hey, you should check this out? Like, what's the origin? How'd you get into this?
Yeah. So the origin is so good friend of mine. He used to be my guild leader. He was the original guild leader for the guild that I'm still in today. And then I took over for him when he left the game, but he got me into it. He was just like, you should really check this out. It's a mobile game. It follows you around. And, I'm a working adult with 2 kids. And this was before I had the channel. So, the idea of a mobile game. And here's the thing, like all my friends, like they're all cheap guys. They all don't want to spend the money. So this was like a great, perfect game for me because I'm the guy with the 2 oldest kids. I'm the guy who got married first, who has I was the trailblazer, as they say, for all my friends.
Yeah.
And they would, whenever we play games in the past, they'd always just gone. Multiplayer, MMOs, gone. They're leaving me in the dust. Yeah. So they were so cheap with this game that everybody was trying to do it 100% free to play. So it actually gated their progress so I could keep up with them. So I kind of fell in love with it for that regard right there. And then all my friends, so I played with like 5 friends in this game. And they've all gone. And then I was like, well, I'll do YouTube after that. And then YouTube became the thing for me. And the rest is history, my friend. What about you? What did it for you?
Same thing. Obviously, anything I was scrolling through one day, flicking through the store, looking for something to do. I like strategic games generally. I loved a lot of Command and Conquer sort of stuff back then. Yeah. And a lot of those sorts of games. And I was flicking through and then I just saw Star Wars strategy game. I thought, okay, hooked, got me. This is it. This is for me. Yeah. I'm going to like this. And here we are now, which is bizarre, but so much has happened. I mean, I picked it up probably, I think, was it around 2016, late 2016, I think it was, approximate. So, I still play my same account. I've built it up. I love it. We all love our accounts and our rosters, which is, it's just brilliant. We put so much time and effort into it that, I just can't get enough of this game, and we all want it to be awesome. It's as simple as that. Continue to be awesome.
Yeah, I best case scenario would be like Swigo 2, and somehow we get to keep all of our stuff. But there's no money. There's no money in giving us our stuff.
Yeah. Or they'll give it to us and take us away again, and then give it back to us. We won't go there.
Or they'll give it to us, and it'll just totally suck compared to the new stuff, and that's how they'll get you.
Yeah, that's it. Quick one as well, as far as the game itself. I want to know what the biggest achievement in the game you've had so far. Like, I mean, for me, the biggest thing that I remember doing is clearing the heroic Sith raid for the first time. Like just that feeling, the euphoria of all of us all just getting over the line and seeing that completion, that still gives me a buzz. And I still remember the day we did that back then. Now, is there something that you remember, you think, wow, that was freaking awesome? And, what's the highlight so far? What do you think?
I would say the original... for me, there's a lot of things I could point to here with the channel. Like we did a series called Lobot versus the meta. When I finally beat the meta with Lobot, that was a pretty exciting moment. Yeah. We've had a ton of exciting moments on stream where we've had improbable victories. But if we're talking about the community aspect and the larger piece of it with my guild, I mentioned when I took over to the guild, I went through about 90 bodies of just guys, and like we were focused casual. We weren't the top tier guild. We were just, I'd give us a, if Team Instinct is an A+, I'd give us a C+. Like we tried hard, but we're not the best players.
Yeah.
Or the most focused players.
Yeah.
So when I ran the guild, we were able to beat GK, and we must have attempted get GK, and we must have attempted hot 3 or 4 times. We got better every time, and then finally we did it, and it just took going through so many bodies, and it was a magical moment. It was, a lot of people talk about it. It was great just because it was something we had worked toward, and everybody was in line. We were strategizing. We were focused. And I felt like, for whatever reason, Sith Raid didn't do that for the guild. And I obviously wasn't the guild leader, so maybe I wasn't as invested as much at that time. But for me, it was the original time we got through hot, because that was very tough content. And man, it's trivialized now, but back then when we did it, it was very hard.
Yeah, it was. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, I think it's just the getting through the adversity of completing something that seems out of reach. I just love, and having all the unified people doing that, 50 group of people doing something magical all over the world in a lot of cases all together is just something, when you look back, I think that is just something that's epic. Especially when you clear it, you see that completion,
Absolutely.
and everyone's going crazy in Discord, and there's memes going everywhere, and everyone's just
here's
losing their mind. It's crazy.
Here's the thing, dude. I feel like that raid was particularly special because of how they handled the character shards with GK. Because it was basically like the top 3 guys got more shards, and I felt like that was well deserved. Like, they wanted it more, so they got like maybe like a 2-week advantage. But then everybody else in the guild got the unlock at the same time, and it was like happy GK day, and everybody's so pumped. And you see all these GKs going to gear 11, gear 12 like the first day because everybody was hoarding Carbanti and
everyone was hanging on to stuff. Once you unlocked him, it was like he's going max. He's going maximum at the time.
He's going all the way up.
He's going all the way. It's grouse. It was so good. So same thing, everyone was hoarding their own goodies, and I mean, we're all hoarding a fair bit these days because we never know what's around the corner. It's crazy, but
that's the unfortunate part of the game right now.
It is, man. It is. Speaking of that, I just want to have a quick chat about overall the game. I'm really interested to get a few ideas on what you think with the game. Obviously, they've had the Q&A today, of course, again, only a few hours ago, and I'm really relieved myself to hear that they finally come out and said that they believe the game's not dying and it's really healthy, and there's really good future planning going into the game itself, which I don't know about you, but for me, I'm half relieved and I'm half ecstatic about the future, because up until now, I feel we haven't heard too much about what's happening in future, so I don't know what you think about that, but I reckon that's a really, really good announcement to get today from the Q&A.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway was I just put together a video on this, and the very first part of my video I go straight to the content section, and what are they doing around new content? And they basically come out and say like, oh, we love Star Wars, we live and breathe it, it's in our DNA, and here's what we're doing. You won't see this stuff in the immediate future, but it's not far off, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And the best part of that statement was they talked about it's not progression based, it's content based. So no more relics, no more, gear walls, none of this stuff, right? It's all no more cryotech, none of this stuff. It sounds like they're actually going to give us content.
Yeah.
And they mentioned like the ship raid. Yeah,
we're crying for content. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think that we should have probably had a lot more, another raid at least by now. I think that we're all got the toys sitting there. We've got the weapons in the arsenal ready to use, and I don't think we have a lot to use it on at the moment. So, obviously, they mentioned there's a new raid coming out. What would you want to see in this new raid? What would make you excited again and go, yes, let's get into this. Let's sink our teeth into it. Is there something you want to see?
I mean, I feel like they had good mechanics. What I don't like, I'll just tell you what I don't like, what I don't want to see.
Cool.
I don't want to see 500% tenacity where you can't land a debuff, because that's just lazy game design. I don't want to see enrage timers where Nihilus is going off on a set, cadence. Yeah. And it's just like, to me, the most magical part of raids was doing the original Tebow team with the Rancor and doing TMR and slowly, methodically going through that raid. I mean, it was slow and a grind, but man, did it feel like there's actual strategy going on here. There's no strategy when you can't land a debuff.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Yeah,
I just want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, they can make the damage like super tanky and make it take a long time. I'm fine with that. It's just, you got to be able to use the characters that you've learned how to use, and like what they did with like the GOTB was like, oh no, everything's super tanky and nothing lands. And I think that's been relaxed a little bit. Maybe they went back and made some under the hood tweaks and they didn't tell anybody. Because it seems like I can land more debuffs than when it first came out, but I don't like when they build with that in mind. I mean, what would you want to see in a raid?
Yeah, same thing. Tenacity is annoying. I mean, Geonosian TB, the Dark Side TB, it's just a tenacity fest, isn't it? It really is. And it just makes it so difficult. And I get how the relics are going to play into that, and that's going to make it easier. And the strategies are starting to slowly come through now to help counteract that as much as possible. But yeah, the tenacity is the killer. Man, I'm original trilogy, right? I want a Death Star raid, man. You know, like I want something that you get in there and, you know, you rip the ships out to break through lines and take out cannons. And like, I just want to see something old school. That's just me, of course. But
Right.
I'd love to see something that you pick it up and you go, wow, that is cool. That is awesome. You know, let's get these let's get the tickets done, guys. Let's get into this so that we can keep hitting this and attacking it and
Absolutely, man.
and just, you know, really just getting united into working on achieving something again, which I think since, you know, a lot of the previous raids we're missing, you know, from my opinion anyway. But
Yeah, well, so here's what I'll say to bolt on to what you're talking about with the ship raid and the Death Star. Like, I feel like they're finally taking a step in the positive direction where they've gone with crewless ships.
yeah,
With the Hyena, the Buzz Droid one. What's that one called?
yeah, the Vulture Droid. Yes, yep.
Vulture Droid. Yep. The Vulture Droid, and then obviously the Y-wing. They're finally stepping away from we're tied into having, you know, Biggs pilot an X-wing. We're tied into having Resistance pilot an X-wing. Now we can finally get to, okay, there was no iconic B-wing pilots, so let's get a B-wing pilot out there. So I'm glad they're doing things like that to kind of undo the damage they did with ships. Is ships my favorite game mode? No, but I think there's total space to explore there. I mean, play on words there.
It's certainly an area that could be mined a lot more and extract a lot more fun and enjoyment out of that. Certainly,
Absolutely, man.
I like the ships. I mean, when they came out, I went all in on ships when they were released. That was just me. That was my choice. But I think that there is a lot of untapped fun and enjoyment out of the ships if they get it right and expand on it more and get the mechanics right where it's enjoyable and something really, really cool. But certainly I think it needs a raid or something to link it into to make it worthwhile to be farming and collecting those ships that we need. But, you know, we've got Malevolence coming soon, so we'll see how that plays out with a lot of the Vulture droids and all the other ones coming in soon. So, yeah, look, I'm excited about new content and release, and I think we definitely need it. I think we're a bit starved, you know, in the last 6 to 8 months of, you know, new content that we need something to play with or to look for and enjoy. But no, look, I'm certainly a lot more positive, especially after hearing what I heard today, as I said earlier on. So I just want to have a chat as well. Obviously now the communication's increased. Speaking of the Q&A, obviously now.
Yep.
I know that you're you were a little bit vocal, would be fair to say, with Carrie when she walked away. I think that's probably the nicest way to put it.
Well, yeah.
I loved Carrie. I thought she was incredible for the community, from my opinion anyway. I thought she was great.
We're seeing that now. We're seeing what she did and how forward-facing she was. And so you mentioned my rant on the whole Carrie situation. It wasn't so much a knock on Carrie. I have tremendous respect for Carrie. It was more of a knock on EA understaffing the entire project. And I will tell you, I don't think you get into Carrie's position unless you're super really good at your job. So I just think that it's on EA more than it was on Carrie. If anything was on Carrie, it was that she didn't ask for enough help. I mean, it's the Star Wars license, so you gotta
absolutely.
You're right.
Yeah, I think again we are starved of things. I mean, we've got Fallen Order coming, which we're all looking forward to. I've pre-ordered mine. I'm ready to go. I pre-ordered mine. So we're ready to go. So obviously we're looking forward to doing something different again, sinking our teeth into it. But it should be a lot of fun, and I'm certainly looking forward to that, which would be great.
Yes.
Is there anything, obviously, that you would like added to the game that isn't yet? You know, as far as Swagger, like what's out there that you would go, oh, look, that's what I want.
I will tell you,
Obviously, I think Tuskens, we're going down.
Tuskens are always number one on my list, right? Like, let me finish out my faction. But there are things they can do with Relic. So I will say, Relic has kind of grown on me. Relic is not as bad as because it's such a huge investment and it takes a long time. I mean, there's just like, and I think a lot of people have been turned off by the whole Relic update that they're not going to just power level all this stuff up. I feel like Relics actually kind of added a little spice and variety to the game. So I'm all right with Relics. But what I'm hoping is my initial hope with Relics was how it felt when Zetas first came out. When Zetas first came out, it was like this huge like push and investment. It's like, oh, what Zeta are you going to get first? Are you going to go with Vader? Are you going to go with Maul? Like Vader's is pretty sick, or you want to go Qui-Gon? Like Qui-Gon was pretty sweet back then too, with all those foresights.
Yeah,
and it's just like, I think that if they did the thing where when the same feeling like when Zetas first came out and Lobot got like a new ability, or my Tuscans got a new ability, even if it wasn't good or something, just throw a bunch of new abilities out there and make it interesting, make it fun.
Crank them up a
I
bit.
think that
Yeah.
just shake it up.
Yeah,
Like
supercharge
I love
them. Get them just kicking in and going berserk.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love the idea of taking something old and making it new again. I mean, it's so fascinating to me. And those are the best type of updates to the game, when a total crap character becomes good. And it's like, oh, I've already invested in this guy, and now he's got all this utility, and it's such a good feeling.
No, I agree. And I think a lot of the reworks have been quite positive as well. A lot of the reworks they've done. Yeah, so the Tuscans need some work. We know that they need a bit of love, my friend. I mean, at the end of the day, we got J-Locks out there with his Relic 7s, so he needs to fill those out and make that a serious team. That would be awesome. Yeah. So no, that would be incredible. But yeah, there's always something to work on. That's the one thing about this game. There is always something to farm. There's always something to work towards. So no, that would be awesome. I mean, I'm thinking. Obviously, they mentioned in the Q&A today there's going to be a lot more first order content coming out soon.
I heard about this.
So that was pretty cool. So I'm thinking they might bring out something along the lines of the Dreadnought as a capital ship, something along those lines, because you've already got the first order fleets for it. You just need to add a cap ship to it, and they're rock and rolling and they're ready to go. Get some synergies. So that's something obviously I think that would be pretty cool. That's just me, but there's so much scope.
I'm 100% with you. I feel like First Order is just a character away from being super, could go up a level in terms of meta relevance.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love getting more value out of stuff that you've used a long time, like range value, just adding incremental upgrades to the trooper team. Stuff like that is fantastic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just want to take one more thing, man. Just a quick question. Now, again, I'm just going back to the Q&A. Now, there was a mention today. Obviously, there's a lot of content creators out there that are doing their thing. There's been a few that we've lost along the way recently as well, as you know. But I just want to focus on a quick part of the Q&A, and I want to get your take on it. Now, a question was asked: do you watch YouTube videos by the community? Are you aware of the growing sentiments expressed by behalf of the community? Do these types of community input factor in any design decisions? And Top Hat basically responded with, yeah, we watch them. Sentiments largely mirror those in the community and don't fundamentally add much to the conversation beyond what we see in the Reddit and forums. We look for the concerns of the community, not any specific personalities. Now, my take on that is that I've only been doing this for a month. I have no monetary value in any of doing this sort of stuff.
Right.
That's just me.
Right.
But I believe that the content creators like yourself and a lot of the other ones out there, they're the vocal mouthpiece of the community at large. And I think that maybe they should be more, how do you explain it? We should be obviously addressing their issues more, because a lot of them isn't just essentially singularly ego-based. A lot of it is just what they think and what they're being told out there. Now, do you agree with that, or do you think that that what they're saying is fair enough, or what are your thoughts?
I think the reason why they went on the Galactic War Report, and big shout out to Sean and John, absolutely huge fans of those guys, love them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that is a podcast medium, and Top Hat's been on that show many times, and he's very familiar with both of those guys. So he's very, he knows he's going to get a positive experience.
Yeah.
I haven't always been positive.
Yeah.
Up until recently, Arnold hasn't always been. Arnold's been pretty positive. And he's always had the best interest of the game. I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
Mobile Gamer, it lost a lot of the positivity has been lost this year. So I think it's the safe play for them to just say that, we don't, if they say, I mean, I guess the other side of that is if they say, well, yeah, we take stock in what they say, then that kind of fuels us to go, lighting stuff on fire when we're unhappy. So I don't know. I mean, I think them going on GWR is, those guys are great, and they deserve some
absolutely.
shine.
No comment about that. I just thought that overall, and not even just YouTube specifically, but I think that maybe overall content creators probably need a little bit more focus on what the community want. We speak to a lot more people out there. We're members of alliances where we have a greater reach to the player base, I think anyway, in a lot of cases. And I think that it could be a valuable tool and a resource for them if used properly. which obviously the Game Changer program was, which no longer exists. So
Yeah, so here's the thing. Like we still have a Discord with them, and they don't interact with us at all. And we're constantly putting stuff there that are concerned, and then we're raising stuff up that's like a bug or cheating or things like that. And there's just like zero response or zero feedback. So it's not like everything we do is a complaint.
No,
I mean,
not
we
at
do
all.
offer our opinion when we think something's out of whack.
Yeah,
but
which we have
there's
every
just
right
zero.
to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And you think the developer would care? I mean, I honestly feel like here's the big secret, man. Like we need their game to be good so we can continue covering the game because everybody's built a community around this game. So
Yeah.
it's not like we want the game to fail.
No.
And I think that they take it personally or some feelings have been hurt along the way. That was where you get the comment about YouTubers today and like, we don't really care what they say.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and again, I think that's probably the frustrating part. You're right. I think that we all love this game. We wouldn't be doing this. You wouldn't be doing what you do if we didn't love this damn game. We love it. We want it to be awesome. We want it to be successful. We want it to be, the best game out there that people pick up and go, wow, what is this? That's what we want. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it all? And that's what we want. We have a passion for it. We love Star Wars. It's frustrating. There's so much frustration because there could be so much more that we could all do together collectively, given the opportunity, to make the game even better than it already is or could be, from my view. So, yeah, it's a frustrating thing, man. It shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't.
You would think you'd want people that are actually like so. There's limitations in how deep they can go into their own game because they're not all end game players like a lot of us are. So we're seeing the end game and our communities are telling us what the beginning game looks like. So for them to just, be on their high horse and act like they know it all, they don't know it all. They clearly don't know it all when they get a lot of like balance things wrong and, their play testing is off at times and
all the bugs,
kits are broken.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it's so frustrating. That sort of stuff, I believe, shouldn't happen. That's just me. Yeah. So, it's just 100%. Really, really annoying. But anyway, my friend, look, I've taken up too much of your time. Thank you so much for joining us today. As I've said before, I'm a huge fan, my friend. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for seeing what you do. I really, really love it. Thank you for all of your hard work. Please continue doing it. Keep shining that light on us, man, and make it fun.
Hey, before we go, can I give some shout outs to some New Zealand people? Some Australians?
Shout them out. Go for it. Absolutely.
So we got H here. Thank you for having me on, my man. I do appreciate it. Hope we can do this again sometime.
I would love to.
I would my show sometime.
Yeah. You tell me when and where. I'll be there, man. Don't worry about that.
Absolutely. And a good friend of mine, a guy that's always on my streams, Dr. Feelgood. I love him. He's out of New Zealand, I believe. And we've got Scotty McLaren. I know his Force Ghost Scotty. He's since retired. Love me some Scotty McLaren.
The golden tonsils of Australia. He is what we aspire to be, my friend. Scotty is my man. He's been instrumental in helping set this channel up as well and organising so much. So no, I love Scotty. He's my man too.
He's a huge inspiration for me, for sure.
He is. So that's great. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. I would love to do something with you again, given the opportunity, anytime, any place, anywhere. I'm your man, here to help you, my friend. We're all set. Thank you for joining us and have a great time. Take care. See you soon.
You too. Thank you.
That's all for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button. We have heaps more cool stuff coming your way. Feel free to check out our other videos, Harpoons and Beer, our Grand Arena battles. They're a heck of a lot of fun. Get into those and check them out. We'll see you again soon on the next episode of Behind the Screen.